one corner kick happened, and I until one corner kick happened and I hit the ball on my chest and I scored the goal the exact same way. So what I am saying with that story is, if you can visualize your future, if you can visualize your ideas, if you can visualize certain things about your life, it is very possible that you can steer your life towards actualizing them. I know that we live in a climate, we live in an environment that these things are almost like, it's just English that this guy is coming to say. But you can ask several people that have achieved major milestones in their life. Like they've seen themselves doing this. Like even me speaking to you guys on the call today, I remember at the beginning of the year, I said I wanted to be able to speak to more people about this topic. And what would happen is that when I see an opportunity, I'm able to follow through. I'm able to do something about it. For example, I've had a very crazy week working and the different thing that I do. And waking up this morning was a struggle. I'm not even going to miss my word. I struggled to get up of bed because I just wanted to have at least 2 hours more of sleep. But I had seen myself already speaking to you guys. Like I had committed myself to that picture that I had seen. And so regardless of how I felt, I was able to just get up and steer my life to make this a reality. And so this did not just start by someone seeing me on the road and tapping my back and saying, Nifemi, I think you can do this. But it's also that I had a picture of what it is that I can do. So why is this important? Number one is that it helps you to identify your vision and gives it clarity. So many people are identifying other people's vision and making that vision their own. So many people are saying, I actually scored the goal. Yes, I did. So many people are saying, oh, I see something that someone did and I made it my own. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be inspired by people. I get inspired by people half of the time, but I say that what I would rather ask you to do is take that inspiration and use it to achieve the goals that you would want to do, you would want to have for yourself. Another thing why this is important is that you reinforce your daily affirmations. I wake up every morning saying that this thing will succeed. Everything that I am doing will succeed because I have a clear picture of the kind of life I want to live. So, for example, one of the clearest picture I have for my life is that in my lifetime, and it's not happened yet, but I'm on my way there, I will make money almost 3 times in a day, every day. Like, I will not wait for every month for money to be sent to my account. Like, I have that clear picture in my head. But I know that to achieve that, I will need to work extremely hard to build businesses. And so every morning I am waking up that, okay, even if I don't feel like it, I have a picture in my head of the kind of life that I would live. And I can't see it yet, even if I can see glimpses and pieces of it in some places, but it's not yet complete in my head. And so I wake up with that daily affirmation every day. I reinforce it to say that this is what I want for myself. And in my lifetime, I will see it happen. And that's the issue. Because you have not identified your own vision, it's hard for you to reinforce your daily affirmations. It's very hard. Imagine, and I'll give you an example that I know some of us might know. We know of the lady that did an amazing thing of cooking for a long period of time, Hilda Bassi. So many people that in their lifetime, whether since they were born, they've not thought of achieving a Guinness World Record. That's when they started having dream of doing Guinness World Record. It's not that it's a bad inspiration. I'm just saying that when it is not your own dream ever, when the going gets tough, you will give up easily because you are like, it doesn't affect anything about you. I can easily just drop this and everybody's like, the world will not end. You move on. Nobody will have. But when it is your own dream, you would pursue it accordingly. And the last thing why this is important is that it helps you to keep your attention on your intentions. So one of the things that we will talk a lot about in this session is intention setting. And intention setting is simply just asking yourself, why do I want to do this? Because like so many people will tell you on this call they want to make money, but Jenny, why do you want to make money? People like you say, oh, I need to be able to spend more. Yes, but why? Like the more you dig down into your intentions, the more you are able to understand fully your reason behind something. And your reason behind something is what would sustain you when life gets hard. I tell you that my mission on earth as a person and with the work I do is to sow seeds wherever I go. So it means that some people would come to me and tell me that, Nifemi, I want you to help me do this, this, and this, but we don't have money to pay you. And I have to be fine with that decision because I know my reason behind doing it. So when you are setting your goals, you're asking yourself, okay, you want to do this, why? And I'm not saying that you have to look for all this, because like when we have these conversations, I'm not saying you have to look for a fancy word or a motivational type of word, oh, I want to be able to help the nations. No, not necessarily. It's just saying, like, even if you want to, like, I want to be rich because I'm tired of this also and boss. Like, it's simple. Like, I know how exciting it is to have when you need it. And that's why it would sustain me when the going gets tough. So I'll play a video that sort of summarizes some of the things that I have said, and then we'll get into the different workshops. So I would start the video now, and you please let me know if you can hear me when I start, or if you can hear the audio when I start. I would pause. Can you hear? Did anyone hear the audio?
Oh no, we can't hear the audio. Oh, I can't hear.
Okay. No, okay. I would have to, I think it's by sharing my screen again.
Or what? Computer audio.
Sorry?
Can share your computer audio so that it's playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say I can share my computer audio. Let me click more. Okay, check computer sound. All right. You should be able to get it now.
Or whether it's Lewis Hamilton winning the Formula, whether it's David Beckham.
Did you hear the audio? All right, cool. Yeah. I'm going to start it again and we can listen to it. Okay, cool. All right.
Whether it's David Beckham taking one of his famous free kicks, or whether it's Lewis Hamilton winning the Formula One, or whether it was Steve Jobs about to give one of his famous keynotes, the most underrated skill was this. Visualization, the recreation of images, sounds, and environments before it has happened, is one of the most powerful skills in the world. A very powerful meditation and mindfulness practice, visualization has been used for centuries to help prepare the mind, the body, and the consciousness for upcoming challenges, situations, and circumstances. Some of the world's greatest athletes use visualization as a way to prepare for big games, the big day, musicians for their new concerts and tours, and CEOs for their very important meetings. Psychologist Alan Richardson set out to prove the power of visualization through an experiment that I want to share with you today.
That's great. Do tell.
Richardson gathered a group of basketball players and arranged them into 3 different groups. The intent of this study was to demonstrate the effectiveness of visualization in how the players converted free throws.
Nothing but net.
The 3 groups were as follows. The first group practiced 20 minutes every day. The second group visualized themselves making free throws but didn't participate in practice. The third group did not practice free throws or visualization at all.
You don't have to do anything.
The results were absolutely staggering. The group that only visualized free throws and didn't practice at all showed marked improvement and were nearly as accurate as the ones that practiced for 20 minutes every single day.
What?
What it showed is that visualization and the recreation of that moment in time allowed people to prepare mentally to the effect of 20 minutes a day of practice. Now, the group that didn't practice or didn't visualize at all naturally regressed. They took a step backward. What this is shown in countless other examples as well is how visualization with action, with practice, can be the formula that we've all been looking for. Often we get forced into action without visualization, and although that really gets us going and that practice really does make us perfect, that visualization can start the process with more confidence, more conviction, and more courage.
So basically what that video literally, and so let me even start so that I can engage the room. Can anyone in the chat just put like what they understood from the video in like 1 minute so that I would read the chat and just then summarize. Everyone, everybody, please. You can just put in the chat what you understood or what you think the video was saying. or and then we would pick it up from there. Okay, you couldn't hear it clearly. Oh, sorry about that. Was this everyone's experience? Could everyone not hear the video clearly as well? So that I can just summarize. Or was it clear?
But I don't know. I can't speak for others, but I know I heard it clearly.
Okay, thank you, Daryl. It would be nice to just get some responses. Okay, it was clear. Okay, you ahead for sure. So so that we don't take too much time. Yes, thank you, Uche. Mental preparation. Yes, thank you, Coyote, Joseph Coyote. So exactly as Uche and Joseph Coyote have said, and it's visualization is picturing something happening before it actually happens. And it's like seeing something about a picture of your life and then now physically preparing it. So a lot of time, what usually happens is that we physically prepare for something. So we're physically preparing for an exam, a career, a business. We're physically preparing for so many things. And then, but we're not mentally preparing ourselves. We're not telling ourselves that, okay, what is the picture? What picture do you see? We can go, and I like the icebreaker that we had. What kind of superpowers would you have? But in a more discreet question, it is like, what picture of your life do you see? What picture of this season of your life do you see? What picture of the kind of job do you get? Like, and I know that it seems very what's the word? It seems very unattainable. Like it seems like you can't even feel it, but I think that the more you begin to have that mindset of mental preparation, of allowing your mind to get there before you get there, then nothing else can like move you or shake you, because you're like, I am already there. Even if physically I haven't attained the thing that I would like to attain, but mentally I have traveled far to the place that I need to be. I know where I am. I know where I need to be. And I think that that's entirely what it was saying. Giving the examples of the basketball players, there were 3 sets of people. The first people practiced 20 hours per day. The other people just visualized for the same number of hours, and the third set did not do anything. And what he said was that the people that just visualized were almost as perfect as the people that practiced. And it's the picture that you can see. It's the picture that you can see for yourself. So how, because that also affects what you say to yourself, how you speak to yourself. And like I said, that we have broken this session into 4 different workshops that we would run through. And I would run us through the workshops, then either after the session we'll send everyone their own workshop sheets, and then you can try. And this is where I will need you to ask me questions if you don't understand anything, because it's going to be deep diving into what's the process of you saying to yourself that, oh, I want to achieve a goal. This is the picture that I want to see myself. And the first thing is pausing and reflecting. A lot of times, particularly in Nigeria as at today, and it hasn't changed. So the first time I ever taught this session was in 2020. Today is 2023. Every time I say pausing and reflecting, I have to say a lot of time in Nigeria as at today. And which means that, and it's a very important point that we should know, because this means that the circumstances around your life might not change, but the decision to take a while to reflect on your life, it's very important. So many people don't have a trajectory of what they have done in the last 6 months. It's like, we've had like half year now gone, or in the second half of the year. I just really want to, how many people can say, this is what I achieved, this is where I failed? Like, we just live like a moving train without just understanding where you might have fallen, rather. Because if you don't know where you are falling, how would you avoid it the next time? If you don't know the mistakes that you have made, how will you? And pausing and reflecting is one of the ways that you can achieve that. So what is pausing and reflecting helps you to understand what is working, what needs to be adapted, and what needs to change completely, and consider the impact of those changes in your operating environment and context. So it's simple. It's like, what is working in my life today? What needs to change? What needs to be adapted? See, not everything needs to be changed, because like I know that we have these two extremes of this one is working, this one is not working. Continue this one, discard this one. Not every time. Sometimes it just needs to be a little bit change that will be made. But the most important part that is important in this definition is using your operating environment or context. And it's very key because even if we are all living in this same Nigeria, we don't all have the same life experiences. We all have different families. We all have different responsibilities. We all have different things that are happening. Some people have it good that they have aunties, uncles that send them money to sustain them. Some people don't. And so you have to know what your personal context is, because this is very important, because you would not start to beat yourself down when you don't achieve things in the way that you're supposed to achieve it. One of the things that has, for me in this year, was that this year has been extremely, extremely, extremely busy in a good way. I have had so many projects to do. I have been working hard. Opportunities have... Can you please help me? Thank you. Opportunities have come my way, and I'm extremely busy. So when I was doing my half-year review in June and the end of June, I was like, there are a few things I said I was going to do. Like I was supposed to write a devotional. I couldn't. But even if I wasn't glad that I did it, but I wasn't beating myself down to say, look at you, such a lazy boy. I knew that I didn't have the extra time to do it. And so what now happened after that thing was telling myself, okay, if you need to do more based off the time that you have, what do you need to do? One of the prevailing thoughts was you need to get a PA. Really, you cannot sustain this life on your own. You need to have someone that helps you. And it's understanding that helps you to properly self-reflect. Because a lot of people would self-reflect, and once they are starting, they're telling themselves that I want to be this by this year. So this year has come, I've not done this. And you're like, but you've had challenges, you've been sick, or you've had to go back home to help your parents. You've had to sustain your brother in school. These are the realities of life. So when you are reflecting, you cannot necessarily beat yourself down for every of this thing. You have to be honest with yourself. And this is where I always say that for this session, okay. All right. Someone is saying, I think it's just a peculiar experience. I'm going to stop looking at the chat now. That my voice is echoing. I don't know if it's everyone's experiences, but please, if there's anything, Idara can just let me know so that I don't stop the flow as well. So for you to be able to get the exact benefit from this session, I think that one of the key things that you need to tell yourself is that from today, as I'm going to do any of these workshops, I'm going to be extremely honest with myself. Because it's you knowing that, okay, the more you tell yourself the truth about yourself, the more you're able to find a better reality about yourself. At the time where I started creating this course, I did the first course for myself because I needed to be able to be honest with myself. And I asked myself hard questions. I told myself, where are you? Where are you? Why is your life this way? And it's when you take that time to pause, to reflect, that you will not be able to figure out some of these things. A lot of times we hear someone will tell you that it's only when you move, when you keep moving, don't stop, keep moving, that you create new starting points. But sometimes it takes a subtle shift in perspective by pausing that you can now create new possibilities and options. It takes you just because for so many of us, we are too involved in our daily lives. We wake up, we know what we are doing, we know the next thing. It's almost like an autopilot. We know what is going to happen next and we automatically move in. So it's very difficult and almost impossible to get a subtle shift in perspective if you don't pause, because you can be doing the same thing over and over again and you're not able to track, is this thing even successful? Is this, like I told you that I run a production house. For example, I knew that we're going to, like, if we continue the way we're going, we're going to lose money because we were just dropping money to produce things and we realized that nothing was coming out. You see that the tailors at the store were doing nonsense, our printers were saying something else. I had to tell myself that we needed to get an operations person that can manage this entire process for us properly, or else we'll just keep pouring money and we'll not benefit anything. But if I just continue to say, okay, let's keep moving, let's keep going, I would never be able to see that perspective of this business is failing, this career is failing. I am working 9 to 5, but I am not adding enough value to this company. How can I build value in myself? Then you cannot set a goal to say, I want to go and learn new skills. Sometimes your goal should not be, I want to get a new job. Because if you genuinely look at yourself and you know that I am not adding enough value to this business, that what I am doing to this company is not enough, your goal should be, let me use the next 6 months to upskill, so that by the time I come back in the end of the year, I know that I now possess value that can help me achieve a new job. But usually, people just do blanket goals. I want to get a new job. And you spend 6 months trying to get that job and you didn't get it. And you're wondering why. Or you want to grow sales in your business and you're wondering whereby there are several loopholes in your business that until you close those loopholes, you would not be able to attain the level of profit that you would like to attain. But if you keep always just chasing, running, moving, continuous pursuit without taking the time to say, what am I even doing? What is happening? You might not be able to get that subtle shift of perspective that you need to enable yourself to see better for yourself. So, the entire purpose of personal reflection is you journeying with yourself. So you are going on a journey with yourself, which is why my advice is that we put this into our everyday lives. It's not something that is until Wave faculty comes and says that there's another webinar for personal reflection, and you say, okay, let me come and pause. You plan on it. You have gone 3 months. What have you achieved? What have you not achieved? What have you done? How have you grown? Have you saved more? Are you spending better? Because it's, think about it, like for people that do like sales training or vocation training, there's usually a third party person, which is you observing 2 people that already know the job. In the process of personal reflection, you have to make yourself the third party, observing your life to say, I've not really functioned properly here. Be honest. Or I'm doing amazing in this thing. I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing. And it's not, again, usually what happens is when I tell people to pause, they think about it like, I need to go back to the back. Yes, you need to go and review the past, but the goal is not to focus on the past. Because what you are doing in that time is that you want to set a path towards the future, but you cannot if you don't have an idea where you are coming from. You don't have an idea what your current surroundings is saying to you. So you cannot necessarily set a path towards the future. So what I am saying is you have to ensure that this is a process that you embody in your life. And I will show you how. But I just wanted to get this clear so that the benefit of this session that I'm going to run today is that you decide in your mind. Honestly, without a decision, it will just be motivational talk and you go home and you'll be like, why did I ever join? But if you don't decide in your mind that you want to try these practices, you want to embody them. I have people, for example, one of the things that we do as a company is to create products that help people do these things better. So we created a book called Brag Book. When I know someone had invited me and to talk about it, and some of the guys in the office, we came, they paid for the book, we shared it with them, and the Brag Book. And still today, we know a few people that have chosen that they wanted to use it, tell us the benefits of that book. Till maybe Monday, we still had someone message us to say how it's been beneficial to them. So what I am saying is that until you decide that, okay, I want to be able to draw a path for my life, but I would follow this process to do that, it would seem like Nifemi just coming to take 2 hours of your time without you benefiting anything from it. So why should you pause? You should pause because you want to take a break and evaluate. It's not okay, I'll get to that. You want to take a pause and evaluate the previous period. I cannot not emphasize on this enough, because like I asked, 6 months has gone. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to answer on the chat, but tell yourself the truth. Do you even have a clue what you have in the 6 months, what you have done in the 6 months? Do you even have an idea how the 6 months have gone? Have you just kept going? Like, let's just keep going. So it's to evaluate the previous period, because usually we set goals at the beginning of the year. Usually. So we are asking yourself, at the beginning of the year, I said this, 6 months has gone. How am I closer to it or farther from it than I said it? In the different areas of your life. You want to be a better friend, but your friends invite you out for the last 6 months and you're always busy. So you at that point, I'm not saying that you are a bad person. What I am saying is that you're not asking yourself, should I take out this goal and try again next year so that I don't, because my life is going to be, like I said, you are using your operating context. My life is going to continually be busy. I'm going to have to travel to multiple cities, so I might not really have time for my friends that much for physical visits this year. Or should I reduce it and say, I would call my friends on WhatsApp video once a week? So you see what I'm saying now? You are not breaking down the goals to fit your reality, because you know that this is my current context. Then the next 3 are to celebrate your victories, to learn from your mistakes, and to check our future direction. You have a goal that you have set. Have you achieved it? What are you doing about it today? What have you done about it yesterday? So the summary of this is to slow down. We live in a fast-paced world that gets faster by the day. So the concept of slowing down seems like you are not, sharp. You're not a sharp guy. You're not a sharp babe. Your mates, they also, you want to go and do retreat. I do retreat every month, every quarter, every year, because I know that if I don't align my current self with my future direction, something will get missing. Truthfully. So you have to break through all of these conversations that you have to keep running. Because sometimes, and let's use the example of catapults, sometimes you have to pull back to pull a bit forward. You have to learn to slow down at some point and ask yourself honest question. There is no point of speed without direction. So many of us are just running. But if I ask you now, where are you running to? The only half of the conversation want to make money. Why? What value do you want to use to make that money? You don't have the direction. And so every job is your job. Every opportunity is your opportunity. Every business idea is your idea. Let me go and start car wash. I'm not saying it's a bad business idea. I'm just saying that, is it your own? Is it something that you have always wanted to do? And sometimes these visions change per time, per season. So when I started my businesses, I used to pursue business ideas that required my brain, that I needed to put my brain involved, because I thought like my brain is the main thing. But this year, I told myself that I am looking for passive business. So I am asking restaurant owners, can I franchise? Because I'm like, for me to be able to pursue business that require my brain, I need a business that doesn't require my brain to produce money for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it grows per time. But if I do not slow down, I'll keep saying, God, I need to find more speaking opportunities. I need to prepare. I need to create more products. Yes, I need to do that. But then I'm doing so many things and I'm getting very little from it. So how do we slow down? And this is where it gets interesting, because now we're going into the workshops. So for pausing and reflection, we're going to give you 2 worksheet materials after the call. The first one is called the Reflection Journal, and the second one is called the Reflection Worksheets. The Reflection Journal and the Reflection Worksheets. What we are doing now is the worksheets. So for you to be able to set goals that matters to you, I said a few things. I said you need to understand your operating context. So for me, this is like understanding what are your current work and life roles. And I would explain. So this slide It's as simple as it gets. But in your workbook, you would have to list out all your own work and life roles, as much as you can remember. What are the roles that you play on a daily basis? And you would understand why this is important. Because a lot of times we set goals on things that we hate. So, for example, these are some examples of goals, of roles that people play. Cook, housekeeper, friend, sibling, son, pastor, social director, entrepreneur, writer, colleague, mentor, coach, homeowner, yogi, meditator, content creator, knowledge and worker. Then you see that this is not an exhausting. Okay, let me change what I'm sharing and share my sheet so that it's a bit clearer. People can get it a bit more. Can you see the new screen? And please, if you have any questions, or just let me know in the chat if anything that you need to explain. So this is what the worksheet. Can everyone see the screen now? This new screen I'm sharing. You can just use a thumbs up, yes, in the chat, so I know before I start speaking. Yes, okay, cool, thank you. So this is an example of the worksheet. This is exactly what you would get. So what we are saying here is that, okay, you need to identify a few things. So each and every day, we all take on numerous roles as individuals, some consciously, some unconsciously. So I live alone, for example. I wake up, I have to lay my bed. I have a housekeeper, but the housekeeper just comes once a week. So for the rest of the week, I have to clean my house, right? So those are roles that I take up consciously or cautiously. I have to do my budgeting. I am teaching you guys now, which means I'm a teacher. I have to prepare the document to teach you guys. I have to research. I have to read book. I have to gather knowledge. I have one brother, one sister. I have my parents. I have my friends. I'm a pastor in church. I have people that I lead to. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So I do many of these things, but the purpose of this entire worksheet is to help people understand and know and identify the roles you enjoy and the roles you don't enjoy. And they're for a reason. So at the time where I did this, these are the current roles I played: brother, friend, son, best friend, motivator, brand strategist, content creator, pastor, preacher, community convener, writer, as much as I could remember. As much as I could remember. Then I now started trying to break them down into my different businesses. This is what I did there. So I did as general as possible, and you don't have to follow my method. But what I did, okay, I run a community whereby we have monthly conversations, we have a podcast. What roles do I play there? Because you know that I would have to set goals for those businesses. But if I don't understand the roles I play in those businesses, setting personal goals and business goals might be tough. Does that make sense? So for this community, these are the things I do. For this one, these are the things I do. Then you see where we're going to. So you now get to the point where you now begin to highlight which are the ones that you most enjoy. Because my priority or my goal in life is to help everybody do at least majority of the things they enjoy and do it without any regrets. So I enjoy being a brother, a friend, a son, a preacher, tennis player, creative, philanthropist, son of God. I enjoy those things. Then in my community, I enjoy doing a podcast host. I enjoy event host. I enjoy writing. I enjoy designing. But you know the interesting thing? I did this last year. If I'm doing this again at the end of this year, I would not enjoy designing again, because my current circumstance, I am extremely busy that designing feels like a chore. I was already saying to myself at my retreat last month that I need to find someone that would take over designing for this community. So you see what I'm saying, and how, and I really hope that this is making sense, because you have to do it on your own when we send you this documents. But so if you need me to explain another thing, just raise your hand or I'll put it on the chat. I know that Idara would help me by bringing my attention to it, but I'm hoping that it makes sense. So you see that it changes per time. So as much as you do this, the more you've seen yourself grow. I thought when I did this, I had enough time on my hands, so I could enjoy designing The second one for the other company, which is the company that is doing this, I enjoy creating content. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy motivating. I enjoy designing. I don't enjoy it anymore now. But you know that for me to be able to come and enjoy speaking, there are some roles that I would play, like preparing this document, like sending emails to Idara, like posting on social media, like revising, like doing the worksheet, ensuring that everybody is carried along. So for me to be able to do the role that I really, really enjoy, which is speaking, for example, there are other roles that I have to do that. But my goal is that I want to speak more. Does it making sense? My goal is that I want to speak more. But if I have not realized that for me to be able to speak more, I need to do multiple things that I don't enjoy to speak more. But because you don't know, you have not put it into perspective in that way, you assume that it's as simple as saying you want to speak more. You assume that it's as simple as saying, oh, my goal is to create more content. But for you to create more content, you have to research. You have to save money to buy equipment. You have to know what you are doing. You have to put yourself out there. You have to, and if you hate all of these things, it means that if you don't find a way about doing those things, achieving that goal will be extremely difficult. So this is where we are going. So then we go to the next part of it, which is, what are the things that you don't enjoy? I don't like, honestly, I have a robust spreadsheet to manage my money, but I don't like it. It stresses my life because every time I finish doing my boy, I'm like, I need to go and make more money. So, but I know I have to do it to sustain my life. I have to clean my house. Other examples. So for example, I said that in that last one for this community that I enjoy being a podcast host. But you know that if I set a goal to say that this year, for example, we have a goal for the community to release at least 2 podcasts per month, which means that if I don't find a way to do this least enjoyable thing, which is like podcast editing, that goal will never be achieved. That goal of releasing 2 podcasts per month will never be achieved because except I say I want to outsource it or I would do it regardless, that goal will not be achieved. So you say that you want to release more podcasts. Invite me. I can talk on the podcast. We move on. But talking on the podcast does not guarantee to you achieving that goal. So a lot of people have not put their life into this perspective in this way that you're able to say that if you want to increase in your job or get a new job, there are multiple roles you would have to play. You have to be a better team player. You have to study. You have to enjoy waking up early to reach the office. Like there are other things that would lead to you achieving that goal. And if you don't, even if you hate them, if you don't find a way to do them, you would never achieve that goal. So, which is why we start our process this way. Rather than asking you to set your goal, we let you know, think about what your life is right now. Then we go into the next thing. So this is also like I explained. So now, the goal is not just to identify, is this making sense to people? I would like to just know before I keep going, like, is everyone benefiting from this? Is this making sense to people? Is everyone benefiting from this? I was like, no, I'll keep going because I know that we have 51 minutes left. But the goal is not just for me to come and tell you to say, identify your goals and move on. Identify your goals and move on. It's now to help you find a plan to how you want to do those goals that you like more, and the ones that you don't like, how do you want to manage them a bit better? So, for example, and this is a question that you should be asking yourself. So, I enjoy, this is like, for me, doing this with you guys is one of the most fulfilling tasks of my life. Remember that at the beginning. So this is why you have to listen, because I'll keep drawing references or inferences to things I have said before. I identify that my mission in life is to sow seeds of greatness. So I see my words as a seed in everybody on this call's life, that it has the potential to produce results. So imagine me now telling you that this is one of the most fulfilling. You will not be surprised because I already mentioned that my life is supposed to help sow seeds. So me doing this is a fulfilling activity for me. So when you have identified the roles you mostly enjoy, you are now asking yourself, what emotions do those roles do to your life? So two things, one thing that we need to highlight, and I've been talking about this in a way, but to help make sense of it is that you have to also know there's a difference between a role and a task. So, because in a role, there are multiple tasks, which I was trying to explain, to achieve those roles. And some are energizing, some are not. Truthfully. Then you can now ask who can help you. So give an example. Podcast event host is a role that I enjoy doing. What are the emotions that it brings to me? Achieving purpose. I said it already. Excitement, achievement, purpose. What are the tasks that I enjoy in those roles? Researching and actually talking to people. I love those tasks because when I'm researching, like I create for myself first before I create for others. So when I'm researching, I am getting blessed by it. I am getting benefit from it a lot more. Then what's the plan? So you see that I said that I enjoy doing these things. So the plan is to look for more opportunities to speak more, to host more podcasts. So because I know that these are things that I enjoy. So when I am setting goals, for example, for these things that houses the podcast and events and speaking, you think that my first goal, if you check, would be have more podcasts, speak more. Those would be my first few goals because I know that achieving those goals gives me purpose, fulfillment. I think like 2 weeks ago, I was on a webinar with a friend. I was talking about values. And it was on a Saturday morning. Before that morning, that entire week, I was feeling extremely down. It was until I finished that webinar, I realized that I have not spent time speaking to people, researching. I have not spent time speaking to children in like a month. So I realized that some part of me was missing already because I have not spent time working on the roles that makes me feel like myself. Does that make sense? So when you break down things in this way, and again, like I said, you have to use, so as when I did this, one of my roles then was creative designer. I don't really enjoy it again because I am extremely busy, and this is very important. So at the time when I was doing this last year, the benefit of, the emotions of being a designer was betting new things, discovery. So because I am extremely busy now, I don't really have the time to sit down and do research to find the designs that I would like. So design has become like a chore for me. Oh, I have to get a design now. So I'll just rush one or two things. So the emotions that I normally would get from performing this role, I don't get them again. So can you see how my circumstances, my current context has taken away the emotions from this role, which is why it's no longer a role I enjoy. So as much as we do this, you have to consistently keep doing this to ensure that you are using your entire life context. Then we now go to the ones that you don't enjoy. For example, and you're asking some questions. So what are the roles you don't enjoy? Again, what are the emotions? What are the feelings? How can you forgive yourself after you do those roles, just in case? Then, do you want to pause those roles, delegate those roles, or toss them out? And what's the plan to achieve those roles? So can you see how when you are doing this, you're already somewhat creating your own goals for yourself? Can you see that you are not starting to say, I want to do this? And sometimes you can start that way, but I prefer this method because with this one, you are doing an in-depth evaluation of who you are first before you now even start. So for example, social media manager. I am the only personal social platform I have is LinkedIn. Every other one I don't have. But because I run a couple of businesses, I have multiple Instagram on my phone that I manage for the businesses. I absolutely don't like it because I don't even want to be on socials at all. I don't enjoy being on socials. So What are the, and anytime I spend time, I feel stressed, I feel unfulfilled, I feel tired. Anytime I do that. But now I cannot afford to hire a social media manager because the business is not yet bringing as much as it can. So, but I know that this is an important role to help me achieve my goal. So I will do it regardless. But this is where it now gets interesting. What's the plan? I have to delegate it in the future. I know that I cannot pause it. Do you see? If I pause it, something will fail. There are some things that you can pause. There are something that you cannot pause. There are something that you can toss away. Like, I'm not doing this again. It's not important to my life. So, for example, what did I toss? Always being the one speaking at our monthly session. I tossed it out. I'm like, I can't manage it anymore. So people take it up now. And what I'm saying is that you have to identify is how important is this role? Can I pause it? Can I delegate it? Can I toss it out? For me, I knew that I couldn't pause, I couldn't toss. So I put delegates there. Then you now go, what's the plan? Hire an assistant. So you can see that when I am setting my goal and I am saying I want to make more money, it's not necessarily saying that I want to make more money to go and always feel a job. It's also saying that I want to make more money so that I can hire an assistant so that this role will not be my life again. Can you see how goal setting is done? And so when you get, I will send these examples. So when you get this sheet, I really want you to take time. Don't rush it. Truly understand yourself. Truly get to see yourself in that way. Then the second, any questions on that before I move on? Or anything anyone wants to say? Okay, I'll just keep going. I would keep checking if there are any questions. The second one, like I said, there's a worksheet, there's a journal. So the reflection journal is this is like, it's between you and yourself. So you are trying to be honest with yourself in this one, because the goal for this journal is to help you create a life that you would live. So the journal is broken down into different sections. The first one is, who will you be? The second one is, where are my gaps? Then the third one is, how will I get there? Do you see? Can you see this? Can you see how it's fully aligned? So, like this one, I like this one because we are giving you a clean slate. We are asking you, okay, don't think far, think wide, be imaginative, be crazy. If you could do anything for work, no matter the skill you have or do not have, what would it be? Like, just write it down. Second question, and you see, what is interesting about this is that we ask the same questions over and over again so that you can see the correlation between your answers. The second one is, if money did not matter, you will spend most of your day doing what? If you could wake up and every amount you need is provided for, what will you spend your day doing? Because the benefit of these questions is to help you get to the true root of who you are to be, who you are supposed to be. Then you ask again, your perfect day starts with what? Like if you, I don't know, oh my God, I had a perfect day. What would that look like? So you see how this takes into context your imagination, that you have to think far and wide. Then number 4 question is asking, when you think of the eldest version of yourself, what do you feel and what do you see? It's like when you think about yourself and I'm like, I am living the eldest version of myself. What is that thing like? Then the last question on this thing, you see that it's almost the same question, but in different formats. When you are 85 years old, or whatever age you think you want to live long to, sitting on your porch, what do you want to look back on? And the more you write it, the more you are able to see a picture of your life and the kind of life that you will now want to see. So, we're now going into the next step, which is now accepting reality. Where are my gaps? Where are my gaps? So, first question would be, First question would be, you could be happier if you were not distracted by. Do you feel your most important relationship have been nurtured this year? You have been wanting to change your life. What's the last training you have participated in? And the habits you have been meaning to remove from your life, but you keep falling back on. So what you are doing in this place is to close out those gaps that you know can stop you from being that person that you have determined to be. Then you now go into setting a plan. What skill do you want to learn? What are the things that you are saying you're always going to do, but you don't have time for? A relationship you want to grow this year. What's your greatest strength? And a healthy habit you'd like to have. So you see, what I have done in that time is to run you through all of these slides by just breaking down to you in a decent idea of how you should pause and you should reflect. And it's an important thing. That's why we spend so much time on it, because it leads into the other things that we are going to talk about now. And the second thing that you have to do is intention setting. I said at the beginning that a magical vision begins with a powerful intention, which I was saying that it is, why do you want to do this? Why do you want your life to be better? Because you'll come to realize that once you know your why, you have the energy to pursue it. You know how to quickly chase that goal. Then we set our intentions, and our intentions guides the step that we take. So I set my intention that I want to be able to sow seeds. I want to do this, and that. So the steps that I take are guided by that intention that I set. So the goal that I am setting is guided by that intention that I have set a long time ago. Does that make sense? So you set your intentions, but your intentions guide the step that you take. Your intentions allow you to focus on who you are in the moment, to recognize and live your values. It gives you purpose as well as the inspiration to achieve your purpose. It helps you to open your eyes to things that you might have otherwise missed. That's what you achieve with your intentions. And I will run through the activity now with us so that we can just get a sense of how to set our intentions. So you will get an intention workbook from Idara, and what the workbook is set to achieve is to help you understand your reasons why. So the first question is, think about the reason why you want to be successful. Because when you know why you want to be successful, it will help you work harder in accomplishing your goal. You know that I said at the beginning that I'm not expecting everybody to put a grandiose idea. I want to help the poor. That's good. I have it here. But I also want to be able to afford a certain lifestyle, to live a life void of the thought of money. So because I know how that would help me pursue other goals a lot better. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be genuinely happy with the lives of people that I have impacted. Then you now ask the second question: where is my life right now? Am I happy about it? So you will write the things you like about your life and the things you don't like. You write them down. Then the other question is, what does a successful life look like to me? And my advice here would be, write as much as you can. Just be very descriptive, because you will not go into setting your intentions for different areas of your life. So career, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? Business, and you don't have to feel everything. You feel the one that matters to you at the moment. Personal development, your family, your health, your relationship. Do you see what so you now see, you be honest, where am I right now? Where do you want to be? And you begin to set your intentions towards those things. Because once you do that, you are able to really now determine how you want your life to go, how you want your life to be, which will now lead us into the third and second to the last aspect of this workshop, which is your values. I really love talking about values a lot. We teach values as a course on its own, because we have come to realize that people do not even know what they value. And your personal core values must align with your vision. You cannot tell me that you value something and you're not setting a plan for it. For example, I value teaching, I value speaking. Check my goals. You'll see it there every time. Every time. But the thing is that values are like your fingerprints that you leave, whether you like it or not. Usually, we make decisions based off of our values. Usually. So you see, I always use this example, and I use it for men when I'm teaching men. You see a father that will come and say, oh my God, I value my family. And it's very tricky because usually what the world has defined value for fathers is by providing from your family. But what your family wants from you is a mixture of two things, provision and presence. So if you value your family as a father, whilst you are providing for them, you also have to set a goal to say, I want to be physically present with my family as well. And so if you have that value written down, if someone calls you around a time that you know that you have scheduled to go and watch your daughter or your son take a sport, you would gladly say, can we do this later? I need to see my son do this. So you make decisions based on your values. And if you don't live your values, you are at the risk of living by someone else's value. And when you know your values, you are better at prioritizing. The priorities you make is a lot more better. So how we teach this is we help you to identify values that you prioritize in this life. So, and the work that you will be sent, you start by identifying what are the times in your life that you were the happiest. What were you doing? Were you with other people? What factors contributed to your happiness? Then you ask yourself again, what are the times that you were most proud? Why were you proud? Did people share in your pride? What factors contributed to the feelings of pride? Then the last question would be, what are the times that you felt most fulfilled and satisfied? So use your work and personal life to answer these questions, because what you will begin to see is that there would not be a common thread across these answers. At the time that you were happy, proud, and satisfied and fulfilled would almost be the same time for everything. Would almost be the same time for everything. And that should give you a sense of the values that you have and the values that you want to pursue. That would give you a sense of the value that you have and the value. So if the times that you were most proud was when you provided for your family, yes, provided for your family for those three, you should begin to tell yourself that I think that I value provision. I value provision for my family. And then you are setting goals on, I want to make more money so that I can provide for my family more. Can you see? You have combined your intention with your goals and your values. It's a lot easier to achieve your goals that way because you are doing it based on the things that make you who you are. But again, like reflection, values changes per time. If I am not married now, so I can say I value this, this, and that. But the moment I the moment I get married, I have to sit down and ask myself that one of the things that I should value is my family. And it changes immediately. So I am now setting goals to say, what are the things that I want to see happen in my family? I am now asking myself, why do I want to create an amazing family? So in that way, by combining all of these things, you are able to set actual goals that matter to you. You're able to pursue those goals importantly. And like I said, not everything is what you value. You don't value everything. For example, I don't value, what's the word? I don't value climate change. I don't really care so much about it. It's not because I don't think it's not important to the world, but to Oluwanifemi, it's not important to me. So, and this is a key part of the session, because you cannot be on LinkedIn or Instagram and you see one of your friends or someone that you don't even necessarily know achieve a goal on climate change. Because you don't value it, you are not jealous. You are not angry with yourself. What are you doing with your life? You go back to the value that is most important to you. And you say, have I made progress? Because you don't know your value, everybody's goal, everybody's achievement will become your achievement. For example, I am not necessarily keen on starting a school or a company like Wave. It's not necessarily my goal. I don't necessarily think it's something that I will value. I mean, me, for example. So if I see Wave doing 10 years celebration, I don't come and start saying, oh my God, it's not my value for today. But on the situation whereby I see someone speaking, and I'm like, I value being able to speak to more people, rather than being jealous, I go back to say, how have I tried to achieve this goal this year? So, whilst it's important to know the values that is most important to you, it's also very important to know the values that you don't care about, because you will know and tell yourself that I do not need to set goals about these things as at today. And I hope people are following me, because you will begin to see a thread in this conversation. Because remember, we said for personal reflection, you are already saying things that you don't really like doing. So from that, you can use that to even now say, this thing I don't like doing are things that I don't value. You see that if you do this honestly, some of these things would come together. So what you would get is that you would get a document from Idara that has a list of over 300 values. And then you now have to sit down and take this sheet and say, what do I value? Identify them, separate them. Then now ask yourself, as at today, July 27, 2023, what are my 5 to 10 most important values? And write them down, paste them somewhere, remind yourself every day, so that you are setting goals based on those things. Then you now go back to say, as at today, July 27, 2023, what are my 5 values that I don't really care about? Right now, so that by the time someone is telling you something that is not something, you can easily say that I don't really care about this thing as at now. I'm not keen on acquiring wealth to build the most houses. So if someone is coming to meet me, buddy, you need to buy this house. I'm like, it's not my value for today. So I don't feel bad for opportunity missed. Do you get what I mean? So finally, I think that at this point here, setting your goals should not be hard for anybody, because you have gone through a journey of yourself. And this is the thing. People, most of the time, set goals that is not true to themselves, which is why as a company, we went this route of taking people through a journey of yourself first before you set goals. Because there is no point living someone else's life. Life is incredibly important. Your value to the world is incredibly important, that you leave your mark, that you set goals that matter to you. So we'll give you 2 worksheets to help you in planning how you set your goals. And they look something like this. So there are 3 main columns, 3 main sections: the vision part, the action part, and the resources and deadline. So, and I will show an example because I'm wrapping up now. So in career, for example, in business relationship, you're asking yourself, see again, what would you like to achieve? Then you now go again into the next one. What is the value of this aspiration to you? See, if you don't know, it's like intention. If you don't know the value of this thing, forget it. It will be hard to achieve it. Then you will now go to action. You see what I'm saying? What do you want to start? What do you want to stop? What do you want to continue? So you see that even if you use only these sheets to review your life every month, you are fine. You see the point? Then you now go into resources to say, what resources? Because you cannot achieve, if you want to become a senior manager, you are not a trainer. You need to go to a training school sometimes. So you identify, what resources do you want? Do you need to achieve this goal? Then you now put here, when do you want to review your progress? Then the last one is, what deadline do you set for yourself? So this is an example for career. And I'll use only this example before I wrap up so that everyone can see, but you get this sample sheet. So if you are a career person, you say you want to attain a senior management role. The value of that aspiration is that you have more resources and influence. What do you want to start? You need to start looking for opportunities. A role can jump on your lap, but you need to start looking for opportunities. You need to acquire competencies. You need to close the gaps between where you are now and where you see yourself. What do you need to stop? You need to stop any antisocial behavior, because for you to be a senior manager or go into management role, you have to meet with people. You have to network. You have to lead a team. Then you need to stop majoring on minors. A design is not working. You will not have time to think for the business. Your role now becomes strategic. So you need to start playing in that role today as if you are there. Then what do you need to continue? If you have been meeting KPI all your life, continue meeting KPI. You see how this is very easy. Then what do you need? You need more time. So maybe you need to cut down on your social events so that you can take courses. Maybe you need to cut down on your social media usage. Maybe you need to enroll into a school. Then third quarter of the year. So another example is for a business person. Let's say you want to get a turnover of 600 million for the year, for example. What are the benefits of this aspiration? A bigger market share and growth. What do you need to start? You need to start looking at growth strategies. You need to start asking yourself, okay, well, what are we doing? You need to start looking at business diversification. I told you, and I told at the beginning, I run multiple businesses. I have a plan of what I want the holding company to make this year. But I know that until I begin to diversify this company, I cannot really achieve that plan. And I told you, one of my things I've been doing for the last 1 week is speaking to food companies in Nigeria and asking them that I want to franchise. How much will it cost? Franchise the place, franchise Chicken Republic. How much will it cost to franchise? And when I franchise, I know that I would go and set it up, start the conversation, and money starts coming. I'm at a better place to achieve that goal. What do you need to stop? Firefighting. For you to make sure, you cannot be firefighting every day. You cannot be looking, there's a close where we cannot. What do you want to continue? Quality service delivery. If your clients have known you as someone that they can trust, don't stop it. Keep doing it. Then you need to cultivate looking out for new clients. I'm wrapping up in the next 1 minute. Then staff, what do you need? You need staff. You need partners. You need equipment. You need these things to achieve the goals that you have. Then end of 2023, 2021 is the target. Then for someone in a new industry, someone that wants to enter a new industry, that's your goal. Follow passion and primary strength. That's the benefit. You want to follow your passion. What do you need to start? Start applying for jobs. Start researching. Start talking to people. This industry going, what do they do there? When I wanted to start my production house in fashion, I did not go to fashion school. I started asking people, setting meetings, Alpha, what are you doing this thing? I have an idea what I want to achieve, but I need to know more. Then you need to stop procrastinating. You need to stop having a passive outlook to life. Then you need to start developing skills and experiences that matters to that industry. Then what you need as resources is time, mentor, and research. So with all of these things, I really do hope that we've been able to run through a journey with people on how you can set those goals, achieve those things by first understanding who you are, breaking yourself down into a point whereby you know that whatever goal you are setting is from you first before the world sees it. And I hope that as everyone takes the worksheets and begins to do it, that you are genuine with yourself, you are honest, you deliberately want to see growth for yourself. And as we do that, I really wish and pray that everyone attains a successful life. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. I'll hand over to Idara now for. Idara, yeah, I'm done. Do you want to say anything? Or if anyone, okay, she's unmuting now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My network was fluctuating. So thank you very much, Nifemi. I really enjoyed your session. So I don't know if we have questions for Nifemi, clarifying questions about goal setting, just everything that he talked about today, having direction in life, and what you aim to achieve and how you aim to achieve. Please, this is an opportunity now for you to ask him. So if you have questions, you can just indicate by raising up your hand or typing the questions in the chat box. Hope we all heard what I said. So I think I'll just okay, so I'm seeing some people saying thank you. Wow. Okay, a lot of thank you. So if we have any questions for Nifemi, please signify by raising up your hand or dropping your questions in the chat box. With any questions about your goal setting, just everything that he talked about, just signify by raising up your hands so that we know that you flowed. So we'll just give that 2 minutes to see how many people signify by raising up your hand. Okay. A question by Oluwa Bukomi. Oluwa, she rose up her hand. Sorry, she typed a question in the chat box, and her question is, how can someone so over to you, Nifemi.
Hi, Bukumi. The entire session was about how to set the goal. Okay, I will try to answer your question, but thank you for the question. So how can someone set a goal? Okay, so I'd run through multiple explanations on how you can set a goal. The first stage is to pause and reflect. The second stage is to have your intentions, which is, why are you doing this? Why do you want to set the goals? Then the third one is to ask yourself, what are my values? What are the values that I have? What are the values that are important to me? And what are the values that are not important to me? And then with those information that you have put together, you are now sitting down to say, okay, these are the goals that I want to set based on how I have understood myself a lot more, based on how I have defined my values. So you know why you want to be successful. So you're asking yourself that, if I want to be successful because I want to help people. So you are setting goals on making more money, but also helping more people, because you have defined yourself that this is what you want to do. This is why you want to be successful. So in summary, like everything, I'm sure it was recorded, so you can try to listen again, because I broke it down a lot more than what I had just said. But everything I have said from the beginning of the time I was here to now. It's how you can set a goal. So thank you. Either you're muted.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. So thank you, Nifemi, for answering the question. Bukun, if you're not really clear about the question, this workshop is currently live streamed on YouTube. So after this session, you can just go on YouTube and search for West Africa vocational education on YouTube and just rewatch the videos to really understand the breakdown on how to set your goals. So apart from Buko, is there any other person that would like to share or that would like to ask questions or concerning today's session? Okay, Friday has a question. Okay, so I think we'll take so I think I'll read out Friday's question. Then after I read out Friday's question, then Omo Edugbe can come off mute and also ask the question so that you can answer the two questions in one. So Friday's question is, thanks so much, Nifemi. My question goes like this. Is it advisable to have variety of goal setting? That is Friday's question. So Omo Edugbe, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name if I did. Can you please come off mute to ask your question?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
What I wanted to ask is there a way we can, if we want to personally get to, maybe not personally, but if we want to get through to Nifemi, is there a way we can go about it? Because he mentioned some things that I like to talk to him about, and I don't know if it's okay for me to say it here. So if it's like an email or something we can get through to him, just text him about it or something.
Okay, thank you very much. So Nifemi will be in the best place to answer that question. Okay, so he has already dropped his email in the chat box. So you can just pick it up from there, send him an email, then you can just start the conversation from there. Okay, Friday, Nifemi is asking you if you can clarify what you mean by varieties. So can you clarify? You can clarify by coming off mute. Maybe it's going to help a lot to know what question you're trying to ask. So Friday, if you're there, you can come off mute or you can type in the chat box to clarify.
Okay.
Oh.
I think there's someone else that raised their hand.
Yes.
Friday, I just need to.
No, you can go on. So sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So I just need to understand what you mean by varieties of goal setting. So if you don't want to speak, so is it saying that you want to set goals for different aspects of your lives, or like it's easier for me to understand and answer a lot more if I get a sense of what you mean. So if you're talking about different aspects of your life, yes, it's possible to set goals. So I have goals for my businesses, multiple businesses. I have goals for my life. So I have goals for my finances. So what do I want to achieve in my finances? I have goals for what do I want to achieve in my I have goals on what do I want to achieve in my health. Do I want to be a bit fitter? But I also, so what I would say is that it should draw from who you are as a person. So you should not necessarily say that, okay, you say that you want to do this and this, then you're setting goal to go and walk 12 times a year. Do you understand what I mean? So at the beginning, I broke down what my life statement is, my life mission is as of today. You can change, but so when I'm setting goals, it draws from that person. So when you run through this entire process of this workshop, what you would see is that you're able to define who Friday should be or who you think Friday should be. And when you're setting goals for your finances, you are like, because Friday is this person, you can do this. Because Friday is this, so for example, health. So I enjoy preaching a lot. I enjoy talking. I didn't really care about my health for a long time until one day I realized that for me to be able to do this as long and as effective as I like, I would need to be healthy. I don't want to be preaching or teaching one day and I slump. Like, so I started taking my health serious. So do you see where it comes from? That I know that this is an important thing to me, but for me to be able to do that a lot more, I need to be healthy. I need to eat better and all of that. So yeah, that's the question. So someone was asking, so I know Blessed has his or her hand raised, and someone also asking on the chat how they can reach me on socials. I don't have any personal socials, unfortunately, but you can reach me. You can reach the company on Instagram and put it on the chat on a Andu, but you can reach me on LinkedIn. It's there already. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Nifemi. So Friday said the goal is for different areas of my life. So I think this is where he clarifies the variety. But before you go into that, I think we should let Blessed speak at the question. And wait, Blessed, before you, okay, you've already answered the other pending questions about social media platform. Okay. Blessed, you can come off mute and ask your
Hello, good
question.
morning. Good morning. Can you hear me, please?
Good morning.
Yes, I can.
Okay. You said visualization. So where do I draw the line between visualization and wishful thinking? Because sometimes I have this image and everything in my head, but I find it difficult to now play them out. So it's now looks like this
Wishful
thing is
thinking.
they're just dream or wishful thinking, and it's difficult. I start to procrastinate, and I'm not able to now make them true.
Yeah, thank you. And so thank you so much, Blessed, for your question. So how you draw the line between visualization and wishful thinking is as simple as being honest with yourself. So I said at the beginning, I was saying that, for example, one of the things that I know that I wanted to do a lot more was to manage my business properly. So I mentioned about the production house and how the production house needed to grow. It was a goal that I had set, that this production house must grow. But I knew that Nifemi does not have time to commit himself entirely to that production house. So if I had just kept dragging my foot, oh my God, I have a dream about this house, it would fail. And the dream would be a dream. So what did I do? It's just following that process. What I did was I found a partner, someone that had more time. We split things equally. She runs the operations of the business and it's going. And I even still mentioned again that because we reviewed our business at the end of June, and we've seen how it is going. We know that we are losing so much money in the production process. So we've got an operations manager to manage those loopholes for us. So what I'm saying is, for it not to be wishful thinking. So for example, let's say that you want to be a fashion designer, and that's you, Blessed. And it feels like you are looking for a job to feed, you're looking for this. There is no way that you can necessarily attain that goal if you don't break them down a bit more. So maybe you're telling yourself, in the next 3 months, I'm going to have a mentor to teach me fashion school, or I'm going to reach out to people, have more conversations. So rather than it being wishful thinking and have that grand idea of you being a fashion designer, you're asking yourself a lot more deeper question, that how can I break this down in a way where I see progress, I see improvements? Because the truth is that if you don't work to feed yourself or feed your family or take care of yourself, no goal is that. What's goal? I don't understand. Like, so those things are your realities. They are true to yourself. So a lot of times, that's why the first part of the workshop is important, pausing and reflecting. You're asking yourself that true question. What is my life looking like now? And if you see that based on the circumstances of your life, you cannot really do some of these things, you either pause, or you can delegate. So you pause to say, I can't do this now, I do some other time. Or you toss it, or you delegate it. You make a plan on how you want to achieve it with your current realities. I don't know if that helps you, Blessed.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Blessed, I hope he answered your question. I know there's a comment on the chat box. Amaka Virtue asks, please, can we have access to the material of this training? So I can speak
yes, so Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I can speak for the worksheets that Nifemi had said will come with this training. So these worksheets will actually help you not only listen or not only have it will help you practicalize everything that you've done in this session. So you know how a lot of time people just come and speak and then we go our ways. But this worksheet is like a follow-up to this training. So that is why in the chat box I've been posting the feedback link. So these feedback links will actually help us to have your information to be able to send this worksheets to you. So this is me saying, please fill our feedback form so that the worksheet for this session can be sent to you. Thank you. So Nifemi, you can speak.
Thank you, Dara. So let me start my Dara. So please fill the feedback form. One of the ways in which people get to be a part of this amazing work that we do is your feedback. Write your feedback. Write your feedback to us. Let us know what it is, and then we can improve the course, or just tell us how blessed we are by the course, so that people can see that it's an amazing thing for people to do. Then about the materials, yes. So I'd already shared the worksheets with Idara, but I would share the examples that I shared of the ones that I had done, so that you can use it as a guide as well to Idara after the call as well. There's also a question on the chat. Please, in terms of career, what's the difference between imagination and vision? It's the same answer to the last question. Whether it's career, health, this one, it's reality. Reality is the difference between imagination and vision. And what that means is, so I said it now, for example, that you wake up and you say you want to go into senior management. And for example, you are just the entry level. It's good to have those vision, but the reality is that you are just the entry level. It would take some steps, direct steps, to become senior management. So your job now is that you have to now close that gap between vision and imagination, which is reality. So you close it a bit more by studying, reaching out to people, all of this thing that I had mentioned. So how you close that gap is ensuring that you know what your reality is, and ensuring that you daily try to find a way to close that gap between your reality and the vision that you have. Because if you don't, it would always remain an imagination. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Nifemi. So I've just seen Imabong asking, Idara, please, how do we reach you for this material? So I think I'll have to repeat myself. By filling the feedback form is going to help us to have your information so that we can send it to you via your email. So please fill our feedback form. That is how we can be able to track and send the worksheet to you. Thank you very much, Imabong. I hope we are clear. If you just scroll up, you're going to see the links that I've shared. So I think I'll just share it again so that everybody sees the link. Okay. So I just shared it. But because of time. Sorry. Hello. So I just shared. Please, can you hear me? So I just shared the feedback form as Imabong asked. How can we reach you for this material? I said by filling the feedback form. So we have your email that we can send this worksheet materials to. So please fill the feedback form. It's going to help us. The first look, they are the same thing. Please try again. It should be working. Please try again, probably your network. You can copy the link out and paste it on your browser. I don't know why the links are the same thing. So I just tried opening it again on my email. Can you try the second one? Let's try the second one. Okay. I know that some people have filled the form. The second, okay. So as a way, so this is already 11 a.m. This is when we are going to end